Good afternoon everyone. I am Harsha from APSSDC. Today we'll continue the yesterday's session, something like loops using Java. Yesterday we have done two technical programs using for loop. So today we'll continue with the remaining technical programs. Okay. So yesterday we have done something like printing the multiplication table, where we are accepting a value from the end user and displaying that particular numbers multiplication table. Okay. Now, and the second one is something like displaying the sum and product of the entered numbers. Okay. Yeah. Now, in today's session, we will go with Fibonacci series. Okay. Now, what is Fibonacci series? And we will discuss about displaying the sum of individual digits from the entered number. Suppose if I am entering something like 1, 2, 3, I just need to perform something like 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay. So, let us go with first Fibonacci series. Before developing the program or writing the program, first we will understand what is Fibonacci series. Okay. Yes. Now, our third technical program. So, we will have Fibonacci series. So, let me open Edit Plus. Okay. Okay. So, let me have a Java program and let me say Fibonacci underscore demo number 3. So, this is my program. So, I am just saving this particular thing. Fibonacci underscore demo 3. Okay. So, I just saved. So, before getting into the Fibonacci program, we will first understand what is Fibonacci series. So, for that, let me open a notepad. Okay. So, first what I need to do, I just need to select two numbers that has to be starting with 0 and 1. Okay. So, my first number should be something like 0 and second number should be 1. Now, what is the third number? Fibonacci series. So, what is the third number? It is nothing but the sum of last two numbers. So, what are the last two numbers right now? Nothing but the first two numbers itself. So, what is the sum of these particular last two numbers? 0 plus 1 is nothing but 1. Now, I just want to generate the next Fibonacci number, nothing but sum of last two values. So, here the last two values are 1 and 1. So, sum of 1 plus 1 is nothing but 2. And if I want to generate the next Fibonacci number, so what is happening? The formula is sum of last two numbers, nothing but 1 plus 2. So, what is happening? We will be getting the value called 3. Now, if I want to generate the next number, it's nothing but sum of last two numbers, nothing but 2 plus 3. So, the number will be something like 5. So, if I want to generate the next Fibonacci number, nothing but 3 plus 5, it will be something like 8. Now, let us see how to solve this particular Fibonacci series using Java program. So, first of all, what I will do, I will just take two variables. Let me say something like int a, where I will be initializing this particular value called 0 to it. Let me say int a equals to 0 and b is equals to 1. So, what is happening? First two numbers are getting stored inside this particular a and b variables. Then what is happening? I will take a variable called int c, where I will perform some operation. Let me say something like c equals to a plus b. So, what is happening? A plus b is nothing but 0 plus 1. So, it is having a value called 1. Okay. So, what is happening? The next number 1 is getting generated using something like c equals to a plus b. Similarly, I can take one more variable called d and I can perform the operation, say d equals to, let me say b plus c. So what is happening over here? B plus C means B value is nothing but 1, followed by C value is nothing but 1. So 1 plus 1, it is generating the value called 2, nothing but the next Fibonacci value is 2. I just want to generate one more Fibonacci number. Let me take the variable called E, and let me say something like E equals to, I just want to say C plus D, nothing but it is generating the value called 1 plus 2. So nothing but the next value is nothing but 3. Now if I want to generate the next Fibonacci value, nothing but let me go with the variable called F, and I can perform the operation F equals to, let me say, D plus E. So where E value is nothing but, sorry, D value is nothing but 2 and E value is nothing but 3. So the F value is 2 plus 3 is nothing but 5. So 5 is the next Fibonacci number. So similarly, if I want to generate one more value, let me say G, one more variable, and let me take the equation as something like G equals to, let me say, E plus F. So nothing but E value is nothing but 3 and F value is nothing but 5. So 3 plus 5 is generating a value called 8, nothing but the next Fibonacci value is nothing but 8. So if I want to generate next Fibonacci number, something like 5 plus 8, nothing but 13. So in that case, if I want to generate that particular value, so I need to take one more variable, let me say H, and you can say something like H equals to F plus G, where we are generating the value called 5 plus 8. So we are getting the value called 13. So like this, I can generate these particular Fibonacci sequence. Okay. Now we have understood how we are going to generate the Fibonacci series. So nothing but the sum of last two values. Now what I will do, I just want to implement this particular thing programmatically. We know that these particular variables cannot be declared dynamically. Assume that if end user wants something like 5 Fibonacci series, how many variables we require? So we require something like first two numbers A, B, C, D and E. Okay. So 5 values, 5 variables. So if end user wants to display something like 8 Fibonacci values, so what we are doing, we need to take something like A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. So you require something like 8 variables. Okay. Now in that case, what is happening, if user wants to display something like 10 Fibonacci series or 10 values, so what is happening, we cannot declare these particular variables dynamically. Now in that case, what I need to do, if you analyze the above code, if you analyze this particular logic, so what is happening, so here A and B variables are utilized for generating first two values. Then what is happening, we are utilizing the C variable in order to generate the third Fibonacci value. But in order to go with the fourth value, if you see this particular thing, D equals to B plus C, where the variable A is unused. Now if you go with something like fifth value E equals to C plus D, where this particular B variable is unused. Now if I go with something like F value, where the variables A, B, C are unused. Similarly, something like G, A, B, C, D variables are unused. So let me skip all these particular things. Let me go with till over here something like D, where what is happening, the variable A is getting unused. So in that case, in order to generate one more Fibonacci value, I can reuse this particular variable A. Now instead of generating or declaring these many number of variables, I can utilize only these particular 3 variables A, B and C in order to generate the Fibonacci series. Let us see how we are going to generate those particular things. So the series to be implemented as something like, first of all, let me take the variables as int let me say A, B, C. So initially what I will do, I will initialize A and B variables with, let me say A equals to 0 and B is equals to something like 1. So what is happening here, we are having something like 2 Fibonacci series. So simply I can say something like print these particular two values, nothing but A and B values has to be printed. So, which is going to display the values as 0 followed by 1 in the output window. Okay. So, I can say something like print of 0 A and B. So, 0 and 1 is getting printed. So, I just want to identify this particular 0 as A and I want to identify this particular 1 as B, where 0 is getting printed using the variable A and 1 is getting printed using the variable called B. Now, I will write this particular code something like C equals to A plus B. Nothing but we are getting the value called 0 plus 1. So, it is going to generate the value called 1. So, the next number we are generating is nothing but 1. So, what I will do, I will just say something like print this particular C value. So, what is happening here? We are printing the C value, nothing but 1. So, 1 is getting printed using this particular C variable. Okay. Now, what is happening? Next number to be generated is something like 1 plus 1, nothing but 2 has to be getting printed. So, in that case what is happening? I can store this particular 1 in the A variable and I can store this particular second one in the B variable. So, if I am storing in this particular manner, what is happening? I can reuse this particular statement C equals to A plus B. Nothing but you will be getting the value called 1 plus 1, nothing but 2. So, in order to do that particular thing, first what I need to do, the B value 1 has to be stored in A. So, for that I will be writing the code called A equals to B. So, in that case what is happening? B value, what is the B value right now? 1 will be getting stored in A. So, in that case we can say that now presently A value is 1. Then what is happening? Nothing but A is holding this particular value. Okay. Then what I will do? I can say something like the next statement, say B equals to C, nothing but the C value is getting stored inside this particular B. Now, C value is what? 1, 1 is getting stored inside this particular B. Now, B is holding the value called 1, nothing but I can say this particular 1 is getting identified by B, or 1 is getting stored inside this particular B. Now, once I am done with this particular step, then what is happening? I can implement this entire option as a reuse. So, what is happening? Once cursor is executed this particular step, so what I will do? I will make the cursor move to this particular step where we are implementing this particular operation C equals to A plus B. So, what is happening over here? When it comes to this particular step for the second time, it is implementing C equals to A plus B. What is the A value right now? 1. So, what is happening? A value is 1. What is the B value right now? B value is nothing but 1. So, what is happening? 1 plus 1, it is generating the value called 2, which will be getting stored inside this particular C. Now, C equals to 2. So, what you are doing? You are printing that particular 2 in the output window. So, what is happening? 2 is getting printed using the variable called C. 2 is getting printed using the variable called C. Then what is happening? Once I am printing this particular thing, using C, so B value has to be stored in A. Nothing but what is the B value? 1. 1 will be getting stored in this particular A. Now, what is happening? A is holding the value called 1. Then what is happening? C value has to be stored inside this particular B. Now, what is happening? C value is 2, 2 is getting stored inside this particular B. Now, B is holding the value called 2, let me say B equals to 2. Then what is happening? Once I am performing this particular operation, now we need to make sure that our cursor is getting back to this particular step where it is implementing C equals to A plus B. So, in that case what is happening? C equals to A plus B. What is the A value? 1. What is the B value? 2. So, 1 plus 2, it is generating the value called 3. So, let me implement that particular thing. So, A value is 1 and B value is what? 2, and 1 plus 2, it is generating the value called 3, where you are printing that particular value in the output window, nothing but the C value, nothing but the 3. So, what is happening? This particular C value is getting printed in the output window. Now, once I am done with this particular printing, what I will do? I will store this particular B value in A and C value in B. Now what is happening? B value 2 will be getting stored inside this particular A. Now A equals to 2, nothing but A equals to 2. Then what is happening? C value is getting stored inside this particular B. So C value is nothing but 3. 3 is getting stored inside this particular B. So B is holding the value called 3, nothing but B. Now once you are done with this particular step, once again you need to make sure that your cursor is getting back to this particular step. So nothing but it is implementing C equals to A plus B. So what is the A value? 2. What is the B value? 3. So 2 plus 3 is nothing but 5. So simply we need to print this particular 5. So nothing but A value is 2 and B value is 3, and 2 plus 3 is nothing but it is going to generate the value called 5. Now simply we are printing this particular 5 in the output window using the variable called C. Then what is happening? This B value has to be stored in A. The same process will be getting repeated depending upon the number of values you want to print. Let us implement. Assume that I want to take a variable called n. I want to take a variable called n, and assume that if user is wants to print the values called totally 5 values. So in order to print 5 values, now in that case what we will do? We need to execute this particular statements for 5 times? No. So because already we are printing this particular A and B values, 2 values already printed. So what we need to do? You need to execute these particular things for only 3 times. In order to print these particular things for 3 times, I am taking one more variable called I, and I can write this particular loop as, say, for I equals to 1 and I is less than or equals to n. If I am saying I is less than or equals to n, where n value is 5, so the loop will be getting executed for 5 times. Now in that case what I will do? I can say I equals to n minus 2. Why? Because already 2 values already printed. So I can say something like I is less than or equals to n minus 2. Then I can say that I plus plus. Now within this particular for loop, I can write this code. Okay. So I can write this particular code over here. Then simply terminate this particular loop. Okay. So let us implement. This is one condition. Second condition, I can write something like this. So I can write something like, for directly start the I value from 3, because already 2 values are printed. So I equals to 3. So I can say that I is less than or equals to n. Then I can say that I plus plus. So the loop will be executed for 3, 4 and 5, totally 3 times. So here also it is getting executed for 3 times. Now this particular condition is also getting executed for 3 times, nothing but 1, 2 and 3, where n value is less, I value is less than or equals to n minus 2, nothing but 5 minus 2, you are getting something like 3. So the loop will be getting executed for 3 times. So in that case what is happening? We are printing 3 Fibonacci series and 2 already printed before this particular loop. Okay. So let us write this particular program. Okay. So first of all, in order to accept the values from the runtime, I will just import java.util.scanner class. Okay. Then what I will do? I will take couple of variables. Okay. So first of all, int a comma b comma c followed by I is for iteration and n is for number of values. Okay. So what I will do? I will ask the user that how many Fibonacci values you want to generate. Okay, how many values? So in order to accept the values, I need to have the scanner class. So let me say scanner s equals to new scanner and accept the values from standard input memory. Then what is happening? Let me accept the values, say n equals to s dot next integer type. Okay. So here we are asking the user to enter how many number of Fibonacci series or Fibonacci values he wants to generate. Now what I will do? Just initialize the values for the variables a and b. Let me say a equals to 0 and b equals to, let me say, 1, and let me print these particular 2 values. Okay. So a value and concatenate with some space followed by B value, followed by concatenate with some space. So let me say system dot out dot print. So I don't want to use print ln. Okay, in the same line I want to print all the Fibonacci series. So two values already printed. Now what is happening? Let me start this particular for loop. So for I equals to, first let me write the first condition, I equals to 1, I is less than or equals to n minus 2, then let me say I plus plus. So first what I need to do, I need to generate the third value. Let me say C equals to A plus B. Then what is happening? Let me print this particular C value, system dot out dot print. So print the C value and concatenate with space. Now once we are done with this particular thing, let me say A equals to B, storing the B value in A variable, followed by B equals to C, storing the C value in B variable. Okay, now that's it. We are done with this particular program. So save it. Let me open the command prompt. So let me navigate to this particular program path. So here you can see that particular program path, D drive, my programs, demo, Fibonacci series. So let me go to the D drive, CD space, my programs, CD space, demo, and clear the screen, Java C space, Fibonacci demo 3.java, then let me say Java Fibonacci demo 3. So let me say enter how many Fibonacci values you want to generate. I want to generate 5. So in that case what is happening? 5 values are getting generated. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So if I want to say something like how many Fibonacci series you want to generate, I want to generate something like 10. So 10 Fibonacci series are getting generated. Okay. So what if I want to generate 3 values? Yes, it is generating 3 values. What if I want to say 2? Yes, it is generating 2 values. What is if I want to say 1 value? So my program is generating 2 values. What if I am saying something like 0 values? Still my program is generating 2 values. What if I am providing my value as a negative value, -5? Still it is generating 2 values. Why? Without checking any condition, directly what we are doing, we are printing these particular values. For that, what I need to do? First, let me check the conditions. So here conditional constructs are plays a key role. So let me say something like if the entered number value is equals to 1. So what is happening? How many numbers I need to generate? Only 1. So let me say system dot out dot println. Just want to say 0 directly, or else you can say A. So the A value is getting printed. Then let me say something like else if n value is equals to 2. So what is happening? I can say that system dot out dot println. So display the A and B values. So first display the A value, concatenate with space. Then once again concatenate the B value. That's it, because we are printing only 2 values. Then what is happening? Let me say else if n value is greater than or equals to 3. Either it is greater than 3 or equals to 3. So what I need to do? I need to display these particular values, displaying 2 values and displaying the remaining values. Okay. So yes. Now what if user is entering either 0 or negative values? Directly I will just provide that particular message in the else block. I just want to say something like system dot out dot println. I can say for the 0, as it is a nothing but mid value in between negative and positive. Directly I can say something like enter positive number. Now let me save it. Let me get back to this particular command prompt, clear the screen. So Java C space Fibonacci demo 3.java, then my mistake, I did not provide the closing brace. Yes, save it. Yeah. Then what is happening? Let me run this particular program. How many numbers you want to generate? Let me generate 5 values. So yes, it is generating 5 values. What about 4? Yes, it is generating 4 values. What about 3? Yes. What about 2? Yes. What about 1? Yes. What about 0? So, you are getting the error message, enter positive number. What about, let me say, -5? Yes. So, end user might be entering any type of value. So, in that case, what is happening? I have validated my program in such a way that if end user is providing any type of value, so what is happening? That type of value or those many number of series are getting generated. Okay. So, this is a small demonstration related to Fibonacci series. Now, let me go with the next program, something like, yeah. So, we have done with this particular Fibonacci series, and let me display some of the individual digits of the entered number. So, this is our program related to the Fibonacci series. So, what is happening? I am taking couple of variables and I am just checking this particular thing. Here int I is declared within the for loop. So, as it is a object oriented programming, declaration can be done anywhere. If I am developing this particular program using C language, I need to make sure that all the variables are getting declared at the starting of the program. Okay. So, this is my program which is generating this particular output. So, depending upon the value you are providing, I want 5 Fibonacci series. So, 0, 1, 1, 2 and 3 is the output. Okay. So, let me go with the next program, nothing but fourth technical program. So, what I want to do? Program to display some of the digits of the entered number. Take an example, I am just providing the value called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, what is the sum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Nothing but 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So, what is happening? It is generating the output called 15. So, let us implement this particular program. Okay. So, same edit plus, let me open this particular edit plus. Yeah. So, let me say Java. So, some digits, let me say my class name is sum underscore digits. So, copy this particular thing and save it sum digits dot java under this particular demo folder. Okay. So, just close the command prompt. Let me reopen to this particular D drive, cd space my program, cd space demo, clear the screen. Yes. Now, sum of the digits, let us see how to develop this particular sum of the digits. Okay. Suppose end user is entering the value called 1, 2, 3. Let me go with the program called 1, 2, 3. What I will do? We have some of the arithmetic operators for the division. So, what are the operators that we are having? One is slash and second one is percentile. We should know that this particular slash is getting utilized for finding the quotient. And percentile is used for finding the remainder. Okay, now, so in that case what is happening, as division is returning two values, one is the quotient and second one is the remainder. So, what I will do, I will just divide this particular value 123. Assume that this particular 123 is stored inside a variable called n, which is of integer type. So, what I will do, I will just write the code called something like n. If I want to get the, if I am dividing this particular n by 10, do not consider whether it is a quotient or remainder, I just want to divide this particular thing. Okay, now, yes, something like you just consider this particular n value is getting divided by 10, something like this. Now, what is happening if I am dividing this particular n value by 10? So, let me write over here 10 and let me say 123. Let me perform divide operation. So, 10 ones are, you are getting the value as 10, okay, 10 ones are 10. So, and I am getting this particular result as 23. So, why I am going this much lengthier? No issues, directly what you can say 10 12s are 120, or else you can even do something like this, 10 2s are, you are getting something like 20 and we are getting the remainder as something like 3. So, whenever I am saying n/10, so let me say n/10, so as it is going to get the quotient, so what is the quotient? Nothing but 12. So whenever I am saying something like n percentile 10, so we are getting the remainder, and what is the remainder? Nothing but 3. So already I am getting one single value. Okay, now. So I can store this particular value inside a variable called sum, and I can store this particular value inside a variable called quotient. Okay, Q. Yeah. So I can simply say something like sum equals to, let me say S equals to this particular value, and I can say something like quotient equals to this particular value. Now in the next step I can perform this particular 12. So let me say Q divided by 10. So what is happening? What is the Q value right now? 12. So in that case what is happening? 12 has to be getting divided by 10. So 10 ones are, you are getting something like value called 10, and we are getting the remainder called something like 2, and we are getting the quotient called 1. So what is happening? 3 is getting stored in this particular sum. So I can say something like sum is equal to yesterday's programs. Remember, sum of the entered number. So I can say something like S is equal to S plus nothing but 3 plus I can say something like quotient as well as plus remainder. Okay. So not exactly, I will show you this particular thing. What is the quotient value over here? 3. Sorry, sum value over here 3, and quotient value over here 1, and remainder value over here something like 2. So 3 plus 1 plus 2, totally it is going to generate the value called 6. So what is happening? I have entered the value called 1, 2, 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, I am generating the value called 6. I need to implement in this particular manner. So let us develop this particular program. Okay. So I think you have understood something like, so whenever you are saying slash, we are going to find the quotient, and whenever you are saying something like percentile, you are going to find the remainder. Okay. So based on the returned value, so what is happening? We are performing the operation. Okay. Yes. Now let me open the Edit Plus and develop the program. So first of all, I need to ask the user to enter a number. So let me add the package called import java.util.scanner. Then what is happening? Let me create the object of this particular scanner class. So scanner, say S equals to new scanner, and accepting the values from standard input memory, nothing but keyboard. So let us have a couple of variables in order to implement these particular operations. So let me say int n is for accepting the values from runtime, and let me take a variable called x. Initially I don't require this particular x. I will show you why I am going to use this particular x. Okay. Then followed by, let me say sum, which is getting initialized by 0. Okay. So what I will do? First I will ask the user to something like enter a number. So let me accept the number. Let me say n is equals to s dot next int. So we are accepting the values called 123. Assume that you are entering the value called 123. Okay. Now what I will do? I will just go with the for loop. Okay. Or I can even do this particular program using while loops, because I can do the technical program using while or do while or for loop. So let me say something like while n value is greater than 0. So why n value is greater than 0? Why I have provided this particular thing? Let me discuss about this particular logic. So as I am performing this one, I just want to store the result inside this particular n itself. So what is the n value? Nothing but 123. So 123 divided by 10. So what is happening? What is the result you are getting? As I am using slash, I will be getting the quotient. So quotient is nothing but 12. Okay. So in the next iteration, what is happening? This particular 12 will be getting stored inside the n. Now n value will be something like the modified n value. Let me say n equals to 12. Then what is happening? In the next iteration, I will say n is equal to n divided by 10. Now the n value is what? 12. So in that case, what is happening? 12 divided by 10, you are getting the quotient as 1. Now what is happening? 1 will be getting stored in this particular n. Now the latest value n equals to 1. Now in the next iteration, I will be performing this particular operation, n is equal to n divided by 10. So what is the n value? Here n value is 1. So 1 divided by 10. So what is 1 divided by 10? Before getting into this particular thing, let me write or let me divide this particular thing. So what is happening? 1 has to be getting divided by 10. So normal mathematics operation. So let me say 0. So what is happening? 0 will be getting added to this particular thing, 0, or else you can directly say something like 1 has to be getting divided by 10. So what I will do, I will just add a point. So what is happening? 0 is getting added to this particular thing. Then what is happening? 10 ones are, you are getting this particular value called 10. So what is happening? You are getting the remainder called 0. This is standard mathematics. Either I can say this one as 0.1 or I can even say 0.1. Okay, now 0 is getting added. So this is standard mathematical operation. But let me go with the programming either in C or C++ or Java. What is happening here? So we are having something like data types. Okay. So what are the data types? We are having something like int is going to concentrate on non-decimal values and float is going to concentrate on decimal values. Okay, int is going to take only non-decimal values and float is going to take decimal values. Now, if I am declaring these particular variables as integer type, which is not going to accept non-decimal value. So finally, what is happening? 1 divided by 10. So let me divide this particular 1 by 10. So what is happening? 10 zeros are. So what is happening? You are getting this particular value as 0 and the remainder value is nothing but 1. So in that case, what is happening? If I am saying something like 1/10, nothing but you are going to get the quotient called 0. If I am saying something like 1 percentile 10, you are going to get the remainder value called 1. Getting the concept? So in that case, what is happening? Non-decimal, when it comes to the integer, so this particular operation is getting stopped at this particular location. Okay, 10 zeros are 0. So 1 minus 0 is nothing but 1 itself. Okay. Yes. Now if I am getting with the float, just now how we have discussed standard operation, you are just putting a decimal over here. So you are getting a value called 10 and 10 ones are, you are getting something like 10, that is for float, but here we are utilizing only integer. So you need to concentrate on non-decimals. So that's why I am providing the value called while n is greater than 0. So while n is greater than 0, so what I can do? I want to take one variable called k. Okay. So what I can say something like k equals to n percentile nothing but 10. So you are getting the remainder 123 divided by 10 is you are getting the remainder called 3. So that particular 3 is getting stored inside this particular k. So then I can say that sum equals to sum plus k. So the 3 value will be getting added with sum and 0 plus 3 is nothing but 3, that will be getting stored inside this particular sum. Right now sum is holding the value called 3. Okay. Then what is happening? I can say something like n is equals to n/10. So 123 is getting divided by 10. So you are getting the value called 12. Now 12 is greater than 0? Yes. So then what is happening? 12 percentile 10, you are getting the remainder called 2. 2 will be getting stored inside this particular k. So previously sum value is 3 and now k value is 2. So 3 plus 2 is nothing but 5. Yes. Then this particular 5 is getting stored inside the sum. Now sum value is nothing but 5. Then what is happening? 12 percentile 10, you are getting the quotient as 1. Now 1 will be getting stored in this particular n. So 1 is greater than 0? Yes. So 1 percentile 10, you will be getting the remainder as 1, as now we have discussed. Now 1 will be getting stored inside this particular k. So our sum value is something like 5 and k value is 1. 5 plus 1 is nothing but 6, that will be getting stored inside this particular sum. Now sum value is 6. Then what is happening? 1 divided by 10, so you will be getting the quotient value called 0. So that will be getting stored in this particular n. So n value is 0. So 0 is greater than 0. A number is greater than itself. No, condition is false. So cursor is getting out of this particular block. Now let me print this particular sum value as say system.out.println, I just want to see sum of the digits of the entered number is, let me say, plus sum. Save it, let me compile the code and cannot find the symbol sum. My mistake here, I just represented S in uppercase and here I just utilize the lowercase alphabet S. So, save it and let me compile this particular code. Say Java C space, let me say sum demo2 dot Java, sorry, sum digits dot Java. Then what is happening? Java space sum underscore digits. So, let me run this one. Enter a value 1, 2, 3. So, I am getting something like 6. Enter a value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, I am getting the value called 15. So, at the starting of the program, I have told you something like I can even use x. What I will do? I will just store something like x equal to 1 in order to display only the input. So, sum of the digits of this particular x, sum of the digits of this particular x. So, you just need to display the x value. So, let me recompile it and run it. So, instead of displaying sum of the digits of the entered number, I can say sum of the digits of the x value. Let me say 123. So, sorry, 123. So, sum of the digits of 123 is 6. So, let me say something like sum of the digits of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is nothing but 15. So, if I want to display in this particular manner digits of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can take this particular additional variable called x. Now, if you are comfortable for printing something like sum of the digits of entered number, then no need to use this particular x variable. Now, so in today's session, we have discussed about two programs. One is Fibonacci series and second one is sum of the digits of the entered number. So, in tomorrow's session, we will go with some other technical programs using loops and we will go with some new content in Java, object oriented programming using Java. I am Harsha from APSSDC. Thank you.